Hello everyone, I am Dave Bornea. Ako po dito si Jimmy, anak nila Beatrice at Dario. Kami po yung pamilya na naka-experience ng police brutality and police power tripping. And sana supportahan niyo ang aming pelikula. Marami kayong matutunan kasi ito yung tunay na nangyayari sa kasaysayan ng Pilipinas. Kaya dapat malaman nila at matuto sila base sa pelikula nito. Maraming salamat.
So kasama ko siya na kayo, sir, sa cast ng Oras, the Peligro, ano po ang na-experience natin, sir?
Experience, well, of course, working with great actors and veterans, nakakatuwa din kasi mas inspiring siya, lalo na I'm into my passion ng acting. So, nakakadagdag ng knowledge about my craft. So, yun. Sobrang honored and grateful po ako na makatrabaho sila Miss Cherry Pie, sila Sir Allen Dizon, at marami pang iba na mga veterans at mga respeto sa industriya at mga unido sa industriya.
Sir, okay lang ba? If you don't mind, tatanungin ko lang po kung ano po ang masasabi niyo kay siyempre kay Joel Lamangan and kay Direk Dario dahil yung katapat po ng Oras ni Peligro ay yung MOM. Ano po ang masasabi natin?
Actually po, wala naman akong ano sa kanila eh. Something na bad blood or kaakatampo or gawan ng issue. Kasi I'm here to work as an actor, kaya ako siya tinanggap. And then tinanggap ko din siya because working with Direk Joel is an honor and sobrang grateful kasi isa siya sa mga icon ng industriya. Kaya yun lang po ang masasay ko. At sana naman, para lang din sa larangan ng pelikulang Pilipino, magsuportahan at sana wag lang sanang mag-hate. Sana tayo magmamahalan na.
Pero may balak din po kayo panoorin yung MOA?
Wala naman pong problema kung papanoorin ko po siya. Kasi din siya eh. Umaga, if you take it on the positive way, madami ka din matutunan eh. So, ganun lang, inspiring lang din. We gotta be inspired kasi lahat ng mga ginagawa naman ng mga production, ng mga directors, alam mo yun, may bahagi nila yung magagandang perspective or para contribution lang for the film ng Pilipino. Kasi I do believe na yung pelikulang Pilipino is umaangat na. At sana yun, supportan niyo.
Ayun, ulit po sir yung name po natin para maklaro po sa ating mga kawan para makilala din po natin.
Hello everyone, I'm Dave Bornea. And sana supportahan niyo po ang aming pelikula, Oras de Peligro. Salamat.
Thank you so much, sir.
Me personally, as a foreigner, it's not right for me to comment on politics, and I wouldn't actually talk about Philippine politics, but to cover the wider issue. You can't talk about disinformation if you don't want people to hear the information. The way I see it is there's two sides to every story, and each side deserves equal respect, and each side deserves to have their story told. Having been a big supporter of the work of Direk Dario and Made in Malacanang, I know that when the movie was showing in certain parts of Europe, there were a group of protesters who wrote to the cinema and tried to have the film Made in Malacanang banned from cinemas in Europe. Now, how can that be freedom of speech? In the UK, we believe in freedom of speech. I know this is the same in Europe, and I also know this is the same in the Philippines. Freedom of speech, freedom of expression. Now, the way that I see it is there's two sides to every story, and we deserve to hear both sides. So yeah, that's my opinion on the matter, and that's why I'm supporting the films of Direk Dario. I would very much like to watch the other movie if I was able to. And you'd expect that they want to send that message out to an international audience. The thing is, with the Martyr or Murder and the Made in Malacanang, there's English subtitles. People have been asking, can foreigners watch it? Yes, of course they can, because there's English subtitles. However, on this other movie, which I also want to watch, there are no subtitles. And as my Tagalog is not fluent, I couldn't actually understand it. I'd like to watch the other movie. I believe we shouldn't have closed minds, we should have open minds, but I can't watch a movie if I don't understand it. So at the moment I'm sticking with the movies of direct Abot.
So it's the difference between the two movies for you is that the subtitle, no? It's
Yeah,
easier
because I
to
can't understand. No, it's not easy. I cannot understand it. I can understand some Tagalog, but the problem is its context. For example, you've got mahal kita means I love you, right? So the word mahal is expensive. Now, if you hear a certain word mahal, you might get the context wrong. So, and if I get the context wrong, it's pointless. So if they were to put subtitles, I would absolutely love to watch it. But I want to understand, I'm not Filipino. As I said, it's not for me to comment on Philippine politics, but my wife is Filipino. So I do understand Philippine history. I do understand about the Philippines. And as somebody married to a Filipino, I think it's really important to understand the culture of my wife. If you marry somebody from a foreign country, you should basically support that country, pray for the leaders of that country, because I'm a Christian, and that's what you do as a Christian, right? I'm not here to criticize, I'm not here to bash, I'm here to show respect, and I think we need to all show respect. I get sometimes a bit worried when I read Facebook comments and people are swearing. You can be polite, you don't need to swear. Let's show each other respect, and let's see if we can find a common ground, and let's see if we can hear both sides of the story. But I believe the Marcos family, I believe Senator Amy Marcos, Martyr or Murderer, Abot, I believe they've got the right to show their side of the story just as much as any other movie also has the right to show their side of the story.
So you're speaking about the freedom of speech.
Yeah, freedom of speech.
So everybody deserves to know the both side of the story.
Of course.
And we respect every opinion.
Of course. And it's not for me to comment as a foreigner. I have no right to comment on Philippine politics whatsoever. And I would never do that. All I'd say is I'm very interested. I want to watch as many movies as possible that tell me about the Philippines. And both of these movies would tell me a little bit about the Philippines. I also think it's important for us to promote Philippine film, Philippine cinema. You got to remember, Martyr or Murderer made in Malacanang.